That sounded good on here.
Crisp.
Welcome back to Premier League and Pints. That's a new theme song.
Okay, no, it's not. All right, here
Yes,
we go.
it
We're going
is.
to the game week. Shut up, Brian. Here we go. All right.
Fucking
Friday kicked us off this week, as it has been. We have Chelsea, Luton. And who would like to talk and discuss this game?
I'll talk about it because was I the only one who watched it?
Think so.
I was in the office and I watched this
some
game.
of it.
I had to work.
I was literally in the office and I watched this game. So exactly what I thought happened with Poch and Sterling last week happened this week, and it paid absolute dividends because Sterling did exactly what he did the previous week, where he just put his head down and he ran at the back line. And when you were playing against Luton, who's not, going to be putting up any great efforts,
The top half of the league. Wait for it.
But it paid absolute dividends for them. Going into the game, I was really worried about Nicholas Jackson because I was like, he's got to start finding the back of the net, similar to other strikers around the league. But I was talking.
You looked at me when you said it.
I just like looking at you.
But
I was glad that he got one. 2 goals and an assist from Sterling. That's exactly what you want from basically the guy you're going to be building a team around. I thought the first half, Chelsea didn't do anything amazing. They didn't do anything super noteworthy. They had a couple chances, but I wasn't blown away. And then I think the second half, they finally took it to them. They dominated. I don't have much to say about Luton. I just don't think they've spent enough money in the transfer window. I know they've got Chong. Chong looks decent, but I mean, he's trying to do everything for them. He's trying to get the ball, distribute to a front line. Then he's got to get forward because he's got to support. But he's also trying to get back because they need him everywhere. And I think he's been the brighter spark so far this season. And I just think they need to spend a little more money if they're going to stay up this year.
Well, time's a ticking because isn't the transfer window closed in, 2 days?
Friday, September 1st.
So I don't think they're going to be making many big splashes since
yeah,
then.
and with the form that they're in, like I don't know who's, like Gary said, what big splash they're going to make and who's going to go there.
Form's tough. They've only played 2 games.
Yeah. It is, yeah.
Oh, I keep forgetting they had the one canceled.
They only played 2, so
I always forget they had that one canceled because of their whatchamacallit.
But I'm just going to kind of wrap up that game with Chelsea. That was a statement performance from them after 2 very poor first games. If they play similar to the way they have, I still think they need to play back 4. I think the right back Gattuso was great in the absence of Reece James. I thought Chilwell looks like the Chilwell of old. I think in the midfield they still have a little bit of work to do. It looks like Enzo and Gallagher and Caicedo don't all gel yet, but I think that this was a game where they can build on and go forward now.
I said I watched a little bit of this game. The one thing I did notice with Gallagher, though, and this is probably why, like you said, they have to gel, he isn't as attacking and as creative that we've seen him before. He's kind of sitting a little bit deeper and just kind of getting the ball turning and playing into one of the other 2 center mids. So you're right. Maybe if he kind of gets his rhythm back, then those 3 center mids will gel together.
Caicedo just got there. I think that's just it's going to come, but. That's the worst part of your game right now, and the rest of the team looks like they're on their way. There's nothing wrong with that.
No, not at all.
The only thing I want to just add is, did you hear Poch's comments about Nicholas Jackson at the end of the game? He's like he thinks he's going to be like one of the best strikers in world football within the next few years. That's a big statement for
it is.
For someone who's coached PSG and strikers at PSG in the past and Harry Kane.
How old's Jackson?
Early 20s, I don't know exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
But he gets into some absolutely fantastic positions.
Yeah.
It's just that he needs to put his shooting boots on because 1 goal in 3 games, and he's had chances.
Was that this game where Chilwell was sitting at the top of the 6 and just decided not to shoot the ball?
Yes.
All he had to do was just swing his leg at it, and he's probably scoring.
He's not right-footed, though. I think it was on his right foot.
You're 6 yards from – you know what? No.
I'm through. Next game.
Moving on.
Not
Too long. Here we go.
getting into it.
Spurs Bournemouth kicked off Saturday. I finally did get to watch this game, so that was fun. I'll start us off, I guess.
Sure.
Spurs Bournemouth. I think we all agree that Richarlison looks absolutely terrible. Is the one thing I take away.
His attitude's fucking terrible too.
He's trash.
Yeah, the new coach. I think it's much more exciting Spurs we've gotten to see in a little while. They actually want to play and they want to be creative. Again, I think I said this last week. They look way more fluid without Richarlison on the field. I don't know if it's the fact that he just kind of slows things down and he's just not been the lethal forward that he at one point could have been. But I mean, at one point he literally fell over the ball and then tried to kick somebody.
Yeah.
I think he got booked for that.
Yeah, it was like literally tripped,
Athlete.
tried to trap the ball, fell over on the ground, and then kicked the guy walking by next to him.
And they had a counterattack, and he would literally just play the ball to the other team. Like,
Yeah.
he had so many open options. I think Madison was like in, just gave it right to the other team.
Yeah. He just hasn't been. At what point do they just go and just play without a striker and just see if it works, and you just leave Son at the 9 high and just let him connect with other players? Because he has looked, with a team that is trending upwards,
Yeah.
he has looked terrible.
Well, the good news is the window is still open for what we say 9 more days. So
Yeah.
I could see them making a push for some kind of striker. I don't know who's available and who would be coming, but I think they need one if they want to be serious this year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And to your point, Garrett, like, when do they just say, all right, enough's enough, we're not playing with that striker? I mean, the way they've been playing without him on the field, it's worth it. I mean, James Madison is a stud for them right now, and he's pretty much doing everything. So if you have 11 guys in the field and one guy makes it seem like there's only 10 out there because he's really bringing the whole team down and he's really not playing that well, then yeah, like, I think you make that call.
I mean, he's been subbed off both times, so it's clear that there is a plan in place without him.
Then why not start that way?
But I don't know. We'll find out.
Yeah.
But
Fair.
I also think it's Son, who has played decent, also needs to get going this year, because if he's not scoring, then they're at some point going to run into trouble because they need him to be the player of old. So
He needs
hopefully with the new style, they can kind of work him in. And
Yeah, I think he needs a goal for his confidence. Like, he's now the captain.
yeah,
Hasn't scored in his first 3 games. He's expected to make a step up with Kane, leaving. I think once he gets his first one, maybe that'll spark
Open it up.
something. Yeah.
Floodgates open.
Yeah.
but yeah, I think as a whole, I would say Spurs are trending better.
Which is something that over the past couple of years, I feel like not many people have said.
And going into the season, we weren't really sure. So I would say 3 games in, it's a good trajectory. for
Doing
them.
well, yeah.
All right, moving on to the next game on my list. I have Arsenal Fulham 2-2. Danny boy.
Danny.
Can we skip? Because I really don't want to talk
Nah.
about it. Well, I couldn't believe my eyes turned on the game and literally, I think I got up to get like my coffee or something that was brewing, sat back down, and then they got scored on. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? It's like 30 seconds into the game we got scored on. Terrible mistake from Saka. Gave the ball right to Andres Pereira sent him basically on a breakaway, and Ramsdale was off his line because with the way we want to play now, he's playing more of like a, trying to be involved in the build-up. He's just like caught way out of position once that ball is played into Pereira. I don't really blame Ramsdale too much because, that's the kind of style they want to play, and, no one's really expecting Saka to make that pass.
That's fair.
He was,
And
I agree, he was getting a lot of shit on social media, Ramsdale.
Yeah.
And again, and this might be my keeper bias, but I don't think it's on him.
yeah, and no, like I get it, like he is high up, but it's also like he's caught in no man's land. There's nothing he can really do. It's
Especially
more
that-
on the team.
Yeah, if that's their style, that's their style.
Yeah. So I don't think Pereira means to do what he does on that shot.
Yeah.
I think he tries to chip Ramsdale, but ends up kind of flubbing it, and it actually works out better because it wrong foots Ramsdale and then kind of goes near post. But the worst possible start you can imagine. But after that, the whole first half, I would say, was Arsenal. They just couldn't find a goal. Martinelli. I think there were a lot of good matchups between like Martinelli and I think it was Tete on Fulham, their outside back. And then Saka and Robinson, some good challenges. I think Robinson did a good job of kind of taming Saka a little bit until the second half. I think he got going. I think one of the big things I've seen, one of the main points of criticism, Havertz.
Yeah.
I will say the first 2 games, I still want to give him a chance, but he had a very poor game, and I don't see him fitting well in that midfield, at least right now. I think we need the Partey, Rice, and Odegaard in our center midfield, and then our back line. I know we have injuries, so Arteta's trying to work around it a little bit. Zinchenko's just getting worked back in, and Gabriel hasn't been starting. I don't know why, if that's a technical or, I don't know what
I think
the
there was a
reasoning is
bid
behind
for
it.
Saudi.
There is, but
and
I think they said he's not going, or they might be saying that. Who knows what's going on behind the scenes, but I don't know. Either way, scoring gets opened up in the second half for Arsenal. Penalty kick after Fabio Vieira gets.
Sorry, just real quick. I want to ask you a question before you
Go
get
ahead.
too far away from the topic. You said you want Partey in the midfield. Do you miss Granit Xhaka right now?
That's actually really funny. I missed last season's Granit Xhaka.
Yeah, because he was great last year, and I
He
feel like
was-
that's exactly what your midfield is missing.
Yeah, because he would do he can be a defensive center mid, but he can also join to the attack, which he did last year. And I feel like we're missing that, that kind of player this year. Because Havertz is mainly more staying up and more of that, helping on the attacking end and doesn't really track back so well. Xhaka did both, and I think he's that real box-to-box midfielder that we're missing right now.
That's all right. Go on.
Okay, no,
I
that's
just
good.
wanted to ask you that before you got too far away from the whole midfield thing.
Yeah. And then just to quickly wrap up, PK, Fabio Vieira gets subbed on. I think he brought a great presence to the team. He's someone I've been very critical of in the past. I think he had a great performance. He drew the foul and also assisted Nketiah on the second goal. And then we are up a man, red card, second yellow card on, I think it was Bassi. All we have to do is see out the game, and we give up a goal on the corner kick, which is very frustrating. But props to Paulinho and props to Fulham. They played a good game. I think Arsenal were the better team, but they held their own, and defensively they looked pretty solid. But disappointing result for sure.
Well said.
Anyone else?
No, I was only going to say that, this is. I think it was one of those games where people ask is Arsenal the real deal? Are they real contenders? And it's like a game like this. You're at home, you're a man up, you're a goal up. I feel like that's if you're in contention or you want to be in contention at the end of the season. I think that's this is a result you need.
Yeah.
I think you're gonna look back and what points could we have made up if you're not there at the end of the season. Be like, okay, well, this is a game where we really should walk away with 3 points. That's all I'm saying.
I agree.
I have one more question for you just about that game.
Yeah.
So,
The back line has been so different from last year, and the back line last year was great. At what point do you think, okay, it's time to go back to White at right back, Gabriel and Saliba, and Zinchenko at left? Or do you stick with what you got right now with Partey checking into the midfield and making it almost a makeshift 3 with the ball?
Well, I think he has to do it because Zinchenko was out injured. He's just getting worked back in now. I think moving forward, Zinchenko will move in. I don't know what that means for I don't know what's going on with Gabriel right now. If he's healthy and he's staying, I would prefer the Saliba Gabriel center back partnership, and then White on the right, and then we were playing Timber. I mean, the ACL injury kind of fucked us because he was playing great, and I was really excited for him. But I think Zinchenko will move in. At least that's what I'm hoping for.
Alrighty.
what's next on the list
Next
here?
game we have Brentford Palace. Check our document, please.
Documents being checked.
Yeah, this is one I thought. I don't think any of us watched this game.
Wasn't on at the bar. I don't think anyone would have watched it at home.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't even spend the time to watch the highlights, being honest.
Very, very quick. Shada scores for Brentford. I think it's his first Brentford goal. It's a nice goal, cut in on the left-hand side. Good finish. And then I think Crystal Palace tied it in the 80th, 90th minute, somewhere towards the end.
76.
Yeah.
Whoa.
And, they saved at the end. Away, I think that's a good point for Crystal Palace, to be honest.
Yeah, away from home, anytime you pick up points, unless it's against one of the big guys, then well played.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go too much into it because we don't have too much to say about it.
Nope.
Next game, going on down the list, we have United Forest. You want to go there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Why not? So I didn't see the first 10 minutes of this game because I was still at practice. But
Well, then you missed a lot.
well, I watched. Oh, trust me, I watched everything. I caught myself back up. Yeah, that first goal. But 2 minutes in, was it? Minute and a half, 3 minutes in? I don't know what the hell it was. But I have a couple questions. One, United has the ball in the end of the field, it's a set piece, and they're knocking the ball in a little bit, I think, after. And then, for some reason, Rashford is your last man back at around the midway line and just can't play the ball out of the air well. It's a foot race to goal. It's Iwanoe, is that how you pronounce it?
I don't know. We get it wrong every week.
Iwanoe,
We
whatever.
talk about it every week. We should probably figure it out.
Yeah, we'll get there.
I think he scored 3 goals in 3 games, hasn't he?
It's 7 in a row in the
Yeah.
Premier League.
Yeah.
But so Rashford's running with him. I mean, he's struggling to kind of keep up. And then there's some real questions to be asked about what the hell Onana was doing. He started to come out, then he stopped, and then he put himself on the ground, and then he tried to dive again,
Take a seat.
and it was a whole cluster. you're going to go at that point, Rashford's there to kind of help him, so you have to come out. If he touches the ball around you, you're hoping that's when Rashford can get a foot in and poke it away. But to just stay there and pretty much just fall over was honestly embarrassing.
Before we get too far past it, did anyone see the picture on Twitter where like someone like cropped him into a race car? I thought that was so funny.
He was in a Formula One car.
Yeah, I thought that was so funny.
Yeah.
I mean, isn't it from the angle of behind the net that it looks like he fake shoots and then Onana goes down and then he actually shoots?
He does, but the issue is still, why did you not come out more and cut the angle and try and take the ball off his foot? In that situation, any keeper realistically should be waiting for the touch and then going hands to the ball and trying to take the ball away. He doesn't, and he gets made to look like an idiot. Second goal comes literally 2 minutes later on a corner kick. I don't know what the defending was there, and it just kind of hit Willy Bally. He didn't really know much about it, and it just went in. And then, that one you don't really blame Onana on. I mean, he's screaming at his defense, which fair. I mean, it's a free, I don't want to say header because he kind of just hit the guy. And honestly, at that point, I don't think United were really playing bad. I think they had a little bit of possession. I mean, throughout the game, Forrest had some decent chances. I think Matt Turner made some great saves in this game, especially on an Antony shot.
Save.
It was on the Antony shot.
Yeah, that was incredible.
He makes a phenomenal save. Onana actually had one or two really good saves too. And then it was nice to see, we get a goal back. Rashford plays the ball in, and Christian Eriksen and I know Mason Mount's hurt, and that's why Eriksen's in, but this is what I've been saying for a few weeks now. I think Eriksen should be a starter. He's just so much more creative. Flicks it on, gets it into the back of the net. And then that second United goal right out of the break, right from the training ground. Bruno takes the free kick, weirdly puts it back at the top of the box, like 5 yards off the 18. Rashford touches it. Bruno runs in. Rashford sends a long ball right back in, headed down, and Casemiro, I think, hits his thigh, and then he volleys it in, or chest or something. And I mean, that's clearly something they've worked on. It's very unconventional, but it worked. And again, it was nice to see Rashford being a part of the build-up, trying to get going. I mean, he doesn't score in this game, but gets an assist. He gets that, pass to the guy who got the assist, the second assist, hockey, as everyone call it. And then he draws the penalty where Bruno eventually puts in the game winner. He has a one-on-one on the outside. He beats his man, throws a leg in, and he gets clipped, and he just goes down. I mean,
am I the only one that didn't think that was a penalty, or am I crazy?
The United one?
Yeah.
I thought it was soft. I'm going to say what I said last week. Consistency. I don't think that the refs, especially in the box, have been consistent at all. If you go back to the Chelsea game where they were called, I think it was Chelsea-West Ham, where they gave the one to West Ham, but they didn't give the one to Chelsea. I think that if you have that officiating crew for that game, that could go.
It was just like
I just thought it was soft. I thought it's got to be more consistent.
I was like legitimate because we were watching obviously multiple games at this point, and like I caught that there was a penalty, saw maybe one or two replays of it, didn't watch the whole review of it or whatever. But I like legitimately texted in our group chat, just kind of said, "Is there an angle that like I didn't see that made it look better?" Because the ones I saw looked like there was, if anything, the most of minimal contact.
So there is one that he does get clipped, but you're right. I think all bias aside, I do think it's soft. I do think the consistency has been super poor.
Like if you're going to be calling those kind of penalties all season, by all means keep calling them. Then we're going to call it a penalty because it does look like he does nick him a little bit. As a defender, I think it's a soft penalty.
I agree with you. Foul. I'm agreeing with you.
But just like we saw I wish I remember who it was, but the Chelsea player that goes down in the box, and they just were like, "Yeah, get up." And I'm like, he kind of gets clobbered by like two guys.
Yeah. So
what was the red in this game?
So I was just gonna say another thing, and I didn't really think it was a red, but ball's going through. Bruno gets on the end of it, and who got the red? What's his name?
Joe Worrell.
Yeah, Joe Worrell. He reaches out, and he does get. So at this point, right in the top of the 18, like Bruno's in, and he does get a hold of his jersey, and he kind of pulls down Bruno. I think he goes down a little easy, and the red was what they said was, he was the last man back. He stopped a clear and obvious goal scoring opportunity. However, they went to VAR, and it was talked about. Okay, well, could have Turner have got there? Because Turner starts creeping out of his net to come for the ball. So now they're starting to think, well, if
is it clear?
They must have they must have thought that because the call on the field was a red, so they must have thought that no defender, Turner's not getting there. They assumed that Bruno was going to be the first person to that ball, therefore denying the goal scoring opportunity and the straight red. I think Bruno went down a little. He has a full hand of his shirt.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not arguing the foul. I forgot about it until we just talked about it. But like, if it's going to call last man, that's what it is. That's why it's a red. I mean, I don't think the contact at that point, how much of it matters. It really just matters situational, I guess.
But going back to the Rashford penalty, Bruno steps up, puts it in, and I think Nottingham had maybe one more chance in the 80th minute. But then again, there was 104 minutes into this game because of the new rule with adding time and time wasting. I mean, plus there was 2 goals, a penalty that got checked VAR, and a red card which also got checked for VAR. So there's a lot going on in the second half. I'm happy with the win. However, I mean the start is just not acceptable. And again, I think going forward, when Mount does come back, I hope it stays Eriksen in the middle and that in that role with Bruno. I think they played very, very well together. I think Fernandez played great. It was the first time all season I really, really noticed Rashford and kind of taking control up top. So I'll take the win. But the slow start, I mean, can't happen again. So I'll take it.
All right. Moving on to next week's game. The game after that, not next week's game. Wolves Everton. I don't think a lot of us watched, or did we watch?
Nah.
It was on at the bar.
But I don't think we were paying attention.
Yeah, I rewatched the highlights. Jose Sa and Pickford both made a couple really nice saves.
I do remember Pickford making one wonder save at the bar. Like, no one was really watching the game, but it was on, like you said. But like that save happened, all the heads kind of turned.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Did someone else want to talk about this? I just kind of started.
No, you can start.
No,
okay.
Yeah, go for it.
We don't, it's like democracy. We don't vote.
I don't have the sheet in front of me for
obvious reasons.
Yeah, I mean, I think Jose Sa, he killed it. He was man of the match for that game. I think the going problem that both these teams are going to have is that they don't have a forward. They don't have someone who can put the ball in the back of the net. And Pickford did make 1 or 2 really nice saves, I thought. I know last week I said this is going to be Everton's game to lose, and they started Danjuma up top. Yeah, Danjuma up top, and I was like, he needs support up there. He looked like he was playing by himself at home. That's not the kind of performance you want to have. I really think that if Everton don't sign a forward,
they just got one, I think.
They did. Okay.
They're rumored to get one, I think, right?
I think it's Here We Go.
Yeah, I think Men in Blazers tweeted it on.
It's Beto from someone. I don't know really who he is. His name's Beto. Beto.
Yeah, it's like B-E-T-O. I don't know how to
B-E-T-O.
say it.
Well, maybe that could
he's
be
a
the forward they need.
I think he plays in La Liga or something. But, yeah, and like I keep forgetting, too, like they are missing 2 of their wingers who are going to be starting in Harrison and McNeil. So I think that's really hurting them at the moment, too, because they don't have that creativity to...
Yeah, and Iwobi's out until after the international break.
Yeah, so they have some injuries that are, hurting them. But I think they're digging themselves in a hole right now. Like, to start the game winless, I mean, you're at home against Wolves. Is probably a game you should,
That's going to... Because those teams, I think, we all think are going to be down at the bottom.
Yeah.
That's going to be a game that, at home to Wolves, early in the season, Everton's going to be kicking themselves.
Yeah.
That they didn't get 3 points from.
Not even just winless. They are goalless through 3 weeks.
I feel like that's hard.
That's pretty sad.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, man.
We don't have to touch on really too much of this game. We don't really watched it.
But as of right now, I mean, like I know we've been saying it. They're done. There's no way. They've been flirting with relegation for a couple seasons now, and this is just it's going like bad to worse.
I don't think
there's no way
have
they stay
a
up.
Terrible squad though. Decore, Onana, Danjuma, Gay, Tarkovsky, and Pickford. Those are not bad. I mean, they're not superstars, but they're a middle of the table group of guys. What is it then that's making them so poor?
Again, we touched on it. It could be the goal scoring. Maybe they need that one final piece, and once they see one go in, maybe floodgates open, the team gets going, they get some confidence. But until then, I mean, clearly whatever they do on the field isn't working. Like you said, that Sa save was nuts. He's falling down, he gets a fingertip on it, somehow flicks it over, and if that doesn't go in, I mean. That goes in, the game changes, right? Maybe that gets everything kind of jump started. But even when they seem to be doing the things right without the forward, like, it still doesn't work. There's just something about them that, I don't know. It just isn't clicking.
We'll see you next week.
Yeah.
All right, moving on to what I think a lot we talked about as not the game of the week, but maybe like the B game of the week, because the other game obviously played on Sunday. But a little bit of a commentator's curse, I think, on our part.
We changed the title from last week.
Yeah, we tried.
Well, it's funny in the group. I'm like, that's why we said our Brighton title contenders, not they are, because it kind of left that gray area, and that gray area was answered by a 3-1 loss to West Ham following our episode
At home
last week.
Yeah.
But and I'll just talk a little bit. I don't want to go too crazy. I'll let you guys all get your words in, 'cause I think a lot of us watched this.
I think everyone did.
Yep.
My biggest takeaway was, as much as the result is bad, I don't think Brighton really put in a bad performance in this game. They actually played in pretty well, had created as many chances as they have been. I just think Areola was just a man on a mission that game. He made incredible saves. He played man of the match performance.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you're Brighton, yeah, it's a result you don't like, but I really don't think you're mad at the way the team performed and the chances they created. I just think you got unlucky, because I think they had 20-something shots, right? What is stats?
So they had 25 shots, 10 on target, and they had almost 80% possession.
Like, you don't lose a game 3-1 that often with those stats.
And you know what? Especially, I know we said before, they're at home. Brighton's at home. So you have this possession. You have these shots. The fans were behind them. The fans are believing, and obviously they're dominating the game. It's just one of those freak things where it seemed like every time West Ham took a shot, it was flying in the back of the net. And then, like Garrett said, Areola was on a goddamn mission. He was a brick wall, just saving everything.
Yeah, let's give West Ham some credit too, because I mean they took their chances. They might not have had as many as Brighton, but they certainly took their chances. I think Bowen played really well, a goal and an assist, and Ward-Prowse got on the score sheet. I think West Ham are starting to click. They're up at the top of the table right now,
Second
right
place
underneath
right now,
the
7 points.
7 points,
Yeah.
just under. I think second to the City on goal differential or something.
Yeah.
So I mean, props to West Ham. 2 goals in 2 games for Antonio too. I mean, he was someone who struggled with form last year. So
Yeah, and I was gonna say, I think we might have touched on it last week before when Ward-Prowse came in, and I said, does that help him get back to kind of his form and his goal scoring ways? I mean, 2 in his last 2. If he keeps it up, I mean, he's clearly something's working. He's starting to click with these midfielders.
I think it's something Maz. Like, he looked like he thinned out a little bit from what he used to be.
He
like,
really does.
we were talking about just they showed on TV. I was like, yeah. But, I mean, there was a couple of wonder touches in the game. Remember we were talking about it was the Bowen, maybe twice. Both the goals that led to he had an incredible touch of like ability to control that led to both of those goals, which is pretty fun.
Yeah,
Great to watch.
and just one last thing, they did sign Kudus. That's official now. So they're adding him to their roster too. So I think they might have a good season. Yeah,
They might.
They keep Paqueta. I think that's going to be a good midfield.
Yeah, they might get going.
If he doesn't get suspended.
Suspended.
From
Yeah,
gambling things.
yeah, whatever.
Hope he doesn't, because he's on my fantasy team. But we will.
Do we want anything else on this game?
Only thing I'm going to say is we talked about this at the bar as well, is that I think David Moyes won that game for them, because at one point we were looking at West Ham's low block and we're sitting there, we're going, there are 11 guys at the top of the 18 right now. And even everyone, including Antonio, was behind the ball putting in a shift. And I thought that was just, we talked about that for like 5 minutes, because every time Brighton had the ball, there was
You're just
anywhere between,
counting.
Oh, yeah, there was anywhere between 8 to 11 West Ham players behind the ball.
Yeah, they took their lead and they're like, listen, we're gonna protect it with all we got. We're not trying to score more, and we're just gonna hopefully catch them back. And we said it was a nice, good low block. So
There you go.
props to Moyes. All right, moving on to Sunday games. The first one on my list is Mr. Matthews' team, Villa Burnley.
Oh, Villa Burnley.
Ears.
What
we
a
go.
game. What a game. I've never been so happy about a result like that. We
Jesus
played so. I'm
Christ.
going to start with Burnley, actually.
You played Burnley.
I know. I'm going to start
It's
with
not like you played fucking City and beat him 3-1.
I'm going to start with Burnley.
Look at Dan being the voice of reason here.
Burnley's high press was not bad, with one exception. Their back line and their forwards were too far apart. Every time our back line got the ball, I was a little nervous because they were so high and so good at the press. And then it took 1-2 passes, and if you find John McGinn or Douglas Luiz, and they turn, and they've got an acre, and they had so much room. And that's pretty much how every one of our goals happened, is that
Either talk louder or move the mic up.
that's pretty much how all of our goals happen, is that they would press high, we would break the press, John McGinn, Douglas Luiz, Kamara, whoever was in the midfield at the time, would turn and be like, there's Ollie Watkins, there's Diaby, just going to slot him in.
Yeah.
And that's how every single goal happened. And, I mean, credit to Burnley for sticking with the type of ball they wanted to play in this division, but I don't know if they're waiting to play a lesser team because they've only played
They just
City
played
and
Villa, so.
City and Villa. Yeah, so I think that it will come, but the one thing they definitely need is
Totally missed the joke there.
I didn't.
Yeah, I was like, you're
Oh,
like,
yeah.
oh, they play a lesser team. I'm like, well, they did just play Villa.
I got you.
And then
funny.
You just kept going. But
I
keep
got
going.
But the one thing I think they do need is I think they need to find a center mid who is going to hustle a little bit more because even when players like McGinn got the ball in the midfield, they had so much time and they had so much space, and there was like nobody going to get their head down and put some pressure on them, and the pressure just did not come quick enough in the center and midfield for Burnley. But on the other hand,
Oh God, here we go.
Villa were unfreaking believable. Matty Cash, the Polish Cafu. Are you kidding me? Oh my God.
He wanted that hat trick.
He wanted that hat trick.
Shout out Polacks.
And first of all, Zaniolo,
Zaniolo. Close.
thank you. He is an absolute stud, and he's not bad at soccer either. He was just,
Jesus.
oh my God! Every time he touched the ball, it was magic. The no-look pass, the nutmeg. When he was one-on-one with the goalie, and the commentators were like sweated to Ollie Watkins, I was like, this guy's gonna shoot. I was like, he needs to shoot right here. I'm so excited to see how he's playing. Diaby didn't even have the best game he's had with us, and he still scored
And
And
assisted.
assisted. And I mean,
He was a huge signing for you. I think
He
he's going to
was.
be great.
I've never seen someone freak out so much over beating Burnley.
and then another thing. Thanks for bringing it up, Ryan. I'm so glad that we did play Burnley and Hibs the last two games because I think that these two games are needed for Diego Carlos to get his fitness back after that Achilles injury last season. And I could talk about this forever, but I'm going to stop now.
Wait, I have a question. Has Watkins scored in the league? I know he had like
No.
No.
He had 3
And
or 4
that's
goals
why
in-
when I was talking about another player like Nicholas Jackson, Watkins needs to find his shooting boots. I
Okay.
mean, I don't think that
he found
anyone's-
against Hibs, but
I don't think that counts. But
Coming from his fantasy owner, he has not.
yeah, and like I'm not
Assist, though. He's got an
worried.
assist in 2 of them, I
He
think.
does, and I'm not worried about his form for the future. But these are the games where you stat pad a little bit and you put one in, and he's missing pretty nice chances. So I think he's got to start finding the back in that.
Yeah, he's really kicking my bold prediction at the balls right now. All right, moving on.
Oh, you have his
Yeah, he was
goals, yeah.
he was top 3, I think I had for Golden Boot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
right
yeah.
now he's tied with about 5,000 other people with 0.
Hey, Garrett, it's not how you start. It's how you finish.
Well, let's find out. Okay. City Sheffield. Normally, I would like to take the lead on this, but I was unfortunately coaching this wonderful sport at this time. I was not able to view. So, fellas,
I'm with Garrett. I saw highlights. I just want to read what was written on our sheet here. Fucking Sheffield couldn't hold on a few minutes longer.
yeah, biased writing, by the way.
wrote
by
that?
whoever.
I don't know who wrote that.
Who wrote that?
Did you write that?
Yeah, I wrote that.
I'm reading this before. I'm
a
going,
couple
what the
more
fuck,
minutes.
guys?
I mean, come on.
All right, let's hear it. Who wants to start it?
I guess I can.
You wrote it. You start. Yeah, you did.
I think we were talking a little bit off air. Like we thought it was a little bit of a boring game almost to start. The scoring really didn't open up until the second half, 63rd minute, until Erling Haaland scores it was Grealish sent a nice ball in. Haaland is just such a presence in the box. It's like unbelievable. Like, I mean, there's really nothing the defender could have done in that position too, because Haaland's already up and Grealish, fed it perfectly right to his head. So that broke the deadlock in the 63rd minute. It wasn't until the 85th minute, and that's when it got really exciting. And the biggest thing for me was why Sheffield scored. Did you guys see what?
Yeah,
Walker
the Walker.
did?
Yep.
The ball, he just tried to backheel it and on almost on his own touchline, and goes right to Sheffield. And then whatever happens,
It gets
pass
cycled around a little bit.
cycled around, and then they have a shot in the box, and there's nothing Ederson can do about it. So at that point, 85th minute, Sheffield's at home, place is going nuts. They think they're going to tie the current champions, and Rodri had to spoil the
Absolute piss missile
This
of a goal,
guy-
by the way.
This guy, for an offensive center mid, the first 3 games of the year, this dude can fucking shoot.
Well,
We always kind of knew it, but holy shit, he's scoring this year.
Well, he had some goals last year too, and I was almost thinking we talked about how he's like a very good defensive center mid, but he's almost like filling that Gundogan role this year, where he's getting a little bit more forward than he normally would have last year. I don't know if that's with Kovacic coming in, giving him a little bit more of like that defensive presence, but that's who he's reminding me of this year. Is like where like Gundogan would get you that goal or like an assist when you really weren't expecting it and you needed one. And again, last week I came on and said how I think I was going to say Rodri would be the most important player going forward without De Bruyne, and then I made it Foden. But I mean, he's proven each week how valuable he is. Yeah. So,
by the way, Foden fucked up that touch on the pass, and it just luckily landed right on Rodri's foot. He, like we said, nailed it. By the way, has the back of his jersey always said Rodrigo, or was it
think
Rodri?
So. I think it's always been Rodrigo.
Okay, I wasn't sure because I saw it. I'm like, I never noticed.
You reminded me of jersey things. We'll talk about it later.
Okay,
there's a funny Man U story with one of the players, but we'll do that when we're done with the games.
But I mean, I didn't watch. So I don't have too much else to say. They win without Pep. That's notable. May or may not be back next week. But away, take care of business. On to the next one.
It was scary though.
Yeah, I mean, I'll get the updates on my phone while I'm there, and I'm like, I can't watch. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? It's Sheffield.
Yeah.
While we're still talking about this,
but good, you go.
If this is United, Arsenal, Spurs, and Sheffield to tie the game up in the 85th minute, do those teams win?
Wait, say again. So if
it's not City, if it's United or Arsenal or Spurs or Chelsea, another big team that's got big hopes this year, or Liverpool, and they're up 1-0, and then the 85th minute, Sheffield tie at 1-1. Does Arsenal win? Does United win? Does Spurs win? Do Chelsea win in that situation?
I mean, that's tough. I think it's more of like, do you have the expectation that they're going to win? Like Sheffield ties that game, and I feel like if you're watching, like, as an opposing fan, obviously, like, I'm cheer for City, so I'm obviously hoping they're going to win. But I feel like it's like, I've always, like, it used to be back to, like, Real Madrid, and I used to be, like, watch Barcelona all the time. I'd be like, even if they were down, like, you just fucking knew it was coming. Like, you just knew they were going to score in, like, the 92nd or the 90th. Like, they were just, like, inevitable. Like, they always did it. And I feel like that's what opposing fans have a view of as the City team, whereas, like, you're watching, you're hoping they drop points, but deep down, you're just like, it's going to fucking happen. They're going to do it, and I'm going to be pissed off about it, but I know it's going to happen. Like, I feel like that's, like, I don't know if you're going to get that. Like, if Spurs is playing Sheffield there, I don't think you know, like, oh, yeah, Spurs is going to get one. Like, I think it's a different feeling.
I agree. And then, you know what? And it's City, right? So I don't want to be like, oh, like, you know, I want to, like, obviously they have great players and they're a great team, but, you know, you go down one on the road, and it is tough. I mean, yes, it's Sheffield, but you're also playing.
We weren't down. We were up. We tied.
I'm sorry. You get the game tied. I'm sorry, my bad. But you're doing this without your manager. So at the same time, it's a little, you know, it's kind of good. I mean, yes, it's Sheffield, but, you know, good on them for, you know, pulling out a win they should have. And again, it can't be easy knowing that, you know, that your manager is not going to be there and that, you know, he has other, you know, kind of serious things going on. So to do that kind of for him, I don't know. I just feel like, even though I'm a United fan, I still feel like that's kind of a cool story as well. I don't know why.
But, like, if that was United, do they get all 3 points there?
Oh, fuck no. Okay. We tied that game. No, fuck no. You asked me that about 10 years ago. I'm like, hell yeah. But now, past few years, hell no. We tied 1-1. Not a shot.
Too, because it happened literally this week at Fulham. We were up 2-1. We were up a man. They scored, and we didn't win the game. So
no, we tied that game.
But the only thing I want to say is there any concern? Like, I feel like last year this result, City wins, like, pretty easily by, like, 2 to 3 goals. Like, do you think there's anything that has to do with, you know,
I don't know.
Depth this year? Or
I think the missed Holland penalty, if he puts that away, it changes the whole game.
Yeah, I forgot to bring that up. Yeah, he nails the post. By the way, I was trying to watch the highlights of this game, and I couldn't find the NBC ones for some reason, so I ended up watching, like, Sheffield TV. Dude, the guy, when he missed the pen, he screamed so loud. He was so happy. I was dying laughing. I'm like, what the hell? Why is this so biased? And I realized it says, like, SUTV or something on the corner. I'm like, this makes more sense.
That pen miss fucked me in fantasy, piece of shit.
But, yeah, like, I don't know. Like, I feel like if you have a couple performances like this, it's cause for concern. But, like, they had games last year, too, where they've dropped points against lesser opponents. It happens. So, unless it's a common thing going forward, I wouldn't raise the flags yet. But, you know, if next week they have a bad performance, then, you know, maybe we start to say, is it a depth issue or is it a player issue? But for right now, I think we're okay.
All right. So, obviously, we can all agree. Final game of the week.
Last game of the weekend. The biggest game.
It was the game of the weekend. Newcastle 1, Liverpool 2. This game had everything.
Controversy, goals, cards.
Managers pissing each other off.
That was
it
funny.
Was fucking classic. What a game.
I unfortunately didn't get to watch it, so I'm going to let you guys lead the way.
Yeah, I saw stats. Or highlights, sorry.
So, did you watch this game, Dan?
I did not. I was working.
Okay, I watched.
Lead
this
us
game.
off, Matty boy.
This game was fucking awesome. It was exactly what we want from a Premier League weekend. And I'm going to start with a couple questions. Nick Pope was shaky at best for the first half hour. And the last time he played Liverpool, got the sending off right before the League Cup final against Manchester United. Didn't get to play that game. As a goalie, Brian, knowing that you're going into playing this team again, and he had some similar issues where at one point he had to run out like 30 yards. This was later in the second half. His form was a little settled, but is this something that would be in your head, knowing what happened last time, knowing how you guys lost last time, or how Newcastle would have handled it last time? Would you, as a goalie, been worried? Because he was coming out missing punches on crosses. He was looking real shaky for about the first 20, 30 minutes.
I can't say, worried is the right word. It's definitely something in your head. And when you're playing against a team that, you know that they've kind of got the better of you, right? They've scored on you. You've gotten cards against them, and they kind of have some words for you. And yeah, those things do pop up, and they're always in the back of your head. I know when I was playing a team, if somebody came in on a breakaway and scored on me and talked some shit, the next time they came in, I'm on a breakaway, I'd go out a little bit harder. Or on a corner kick, I wouldn't say he was worried going into it. I would say he was just overthinking. He was trying to prove himself too much, show that, previous games and results and mistakes were a fluke, and he was trying to do too much, and I think that's in the back of his head, and it affected him. No, I mean, it happens, I think, to every player, but as a keeper, when that happens, because it's one man in one position, you see it. Right? It's like a midfielder makes a mistake here and there. It can go unnoticed sometimes, but if a keeper makes a mistake, everyone notices. So I think that is the issue here. I think it's just in the back of his head, and he was trying too hard.
Yeah, and he did settle down, but the first 20, 30 minutes, he was definitely a shadow of the guy he usually is. Now moving on. Trent Alexander-Arnold.
I was going to say, is that we're going there, right?
Oh, you know what I think of him. I think he does not play outside back. So the first yellow card, in my personal opinion, I thought he got shoved in the back. Most refs usually call that. He's on the ground out by the technical area. Ball's by him. He throws it back onto the field, kill time. The new rule is that's booking. There's no argument that is a yellow card. Do we agree with that yellow card?
The time wasting one?
Yeah, the first one. It's like 5 minutes into the game. He gets a booking. I thought he got shoved in the back.
Do I agree?
Do we think that he should have gotten a yellow card there?
I don't agree with. I don't mind if that's the rule. Then I agree with him getting the card. That's what I mean.
I'm going back to consistency with the Austin thing in the Arsenal game. So for me, if you're calling it there, and there's a lot of scrutiny on referees this year, I say yeah.
But see, I can't even use that game because even there was someone who held the ball even longer than Tom Yasu, and he didn't get a card.
So, not even 5 minutes later, Anthony Gordon touches it past him, reaches across. Anthony goes down.
Matt just touched Dan's boobs, by the way.
He did.
Anthony goes down.
Lucky. I'm in.
Anthony Gordon goes down. No card. For consistency, which we've been harping on, should that be a yellow card? He's not stopping a goal-scoring opportunity, but he's getting away from you.
I would say if he didn't give him that first yellow card, if he's not already on a yellow, that's a yellow.
And that's a problem.
That is a problem.
But how many times have we seen that? I mean, come on, we know that. It doesn't mean it's right, but it's always the thing that's going to happen. The ref in his head knows Trent has a yellow. He's not. I don't think he's. Again, I don't agree. I don't think that's correct. But I mean, it's just how it's always been. There's been no ever. It's been for the years of us watching soccer, and it's one of those two. It's a big game. In the back of your head as a ref, you're like, do I give one this early?
Yeah.
Which again, we're talking about in 17 more minutes, probably what actually happens. But
and I'm curious too because again, they're trying to crack down on time wasting. We haven't, obviously it's the new rule. I'm curious if he doesn't give that yellow there. I do think he gives it on that play. But if he doesn't give that yellow for him, wasting a couple seconds, I'm curious if the refs start to hear about that from the league. Hey, he threw the ball there. You have to card him. According to the rules, you have to book him there. So I'm curious if they get a lot of shit for it. And the ref's probably trying to save his own ass. And in the meantime, I do think, if he's not on a yellow, like Garrett said, the ref knew in the back of his head he had one. If he's not on a yellow, that's a second yellow. Or should be his first yellow. So I'm sorry.
Yeah. Now, Trent was also responsible for the goal.
Yeah, just a bad horrible.
Bad touch.
Yeah.
And
Right under
if
his
you,
foot.
yeah. And if you watch the replay, when Gordon's in, you watch Trent literally go to grab him by his jersey, pull his arm back because he realizes on his yellow, and then lose the foot race.
Yeah.
Now, you're on a yellow card. It's, 30 minutes into the game maybe? I don't know exactly when it was scored.
28.
I got
28,
you.
25
25
minutes into the game. Do you take him down?
No. Sorry, Mike. No.
Do you take him down?
Do I take him down? I don't think
Because
so.
if you take him down, you're getting your second yellow. You're probably getting a straight red.
Way too early for that.
Way too early. Dan, you take him down?
Yeah, no, it's the first
Yeah,
25
I
minutes
think
of the game.
situation matters there. I think it's that early. I don't think you do.
If this is like the 75th minute, yeah, you're pulling him right down to the ground.
All right. This is the last thing I'm going to say to Trent, and then I'm going to move on to the next thing. I think he's got to stop playing outside back.
I think you said this weekly.
You've been
You say
saying
it
this
weekly.
every episode.
And listen, he does have good games there, but I think it's getting to the point where his poor games are outweighing his good ones. He clearly is checked out in defense, and Gordon got the better of him multiple times. If you, Liverpool, who are currently rebuilding their defense, sorry, not their defense, their midfield. If you are rebuilding your midfield, you're telling me a guy who can literally do a pinpoint pass in 60 yards in any direction, you don't want him there? Why not? If he's going to be hurting you at right back, why not throw him in the midfield for a game?
Here's a hypothetical. If Salah does end up going to Saudi, could he slot into the right wing position, you think?
I'd say so. I mean,
I'm just throwing something out there.
I mean, he kind of made him. He made his career on getting down the sideline, swinging crosses. Why can't he do that again?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe they have to, fine tune his shooting from distance a little bit. He's going to cut it and take a shot, but I don't see why he can't just stay up there. If he's going to hurt you defensively, you're right. Just stay up there.
No, I don't hate that. All right, we're done talking about Trent. Let's talk about Virgil.
Yeah.
Red card.
I don't think so.
So you don't or you do?
I don't. Am I the odd one out?
He
I don't
gets
know.
the ball, but he goes through him first.
I'm not even arguing if it's a foul. It's a foul. I 100% agree with the foul. I feel like I've seen that foul 100 times in that spot, and it's just not given as a red. I don't think it's a clear goal. Like, it's not like he's behind him and trips him. He's ahead of, if not even. So I don't know. To me, it's just like I don't think that's. I don't know. I could be wrong. What's your guys' take?
I'm with Garrett. I don't think so. I think, yes, he goes in hard to the ball. He does catch a lot of the player. But, again, it goes back to, and I'm going to go back to the red card in the United game. I don't know. He's like Garrett said, he's on his side. He's almost in front of him. I don't think it's that last man you're denying that clear and obvious goal scoring opportunity. I think it's a foul. Yellow card. I don't think it's a red card.
Dan?
I disagree. I think he is I
think
think
it's
he
a
is
red card,
stopping
too.
a last man. I think he's on his side even with him, yes, but clearly hits his legs. And if he doesn't do that, Isak gets a touch and probably has a shot on goal. I just think, for me, that's denying a goal scoring opportunity, and that's.
As a
straight
defender,
red.
those are the tackles you don't make because
Yeah.
the guys got the ball on the opposite side of you, especially as a center back. What you got to do is you just got to get around him and you just got to force him outside because you don't win that challenge. And with the way the refs have been, that could totally have been a yellow card, and I feel like this would be a totally different conversation. But the reffing's been horrible all season so far.
I feel like when I hear, it's a red card for, being the last man and denying that opportunity, I guess maybe it's because my head immediately goes to, the forward has a foot or two on the defender and he pulls him back or he takes him out from behind. I guess that's where my head immediately goes to. That you're right. If he's by his side and he goes through him, it is technically still the last man, and he does deny the opportunity. I guess in my head I just don't factor that in, but still, I don't know. I don't think it's a straight red. Yeah.
No, that's all I said.
All right. So, sorry, I know we've been talking about this for a while, but a lot happens. This is for Dan, actually. I have a question about
It's
this.
gonna be a longer episode. We're just gonna have to agree to that now.
Yeah.
Waruto Endo? Yeah, the Japanese international made his his away debut. I know he played last week, but I think they were home last week.
I think he started too, so his first start.
Yeah.
Yeah.
First start for Liverpool. Didn't really do much. Got subbed off at the 58th, 59th minute. What do you think of him so far? Because we see a lot of players that need to adjust to their time in the Prem or adjust to their new system. Mason Mount, Kai Havertz, players that haven't really turned it on yet. But then you also see other players that come in on, like Moussa Diaby, that come in and
Weird one to reference there.
Vardiol, how about that? Better?
That's better.
That come in and absolutely turn it up. Do you think what is it about the Premier League and about some of these teams, about some of these lineups that make it so hard for some of these players to get into the team and perform off jump?
It's a good question. I think for him specifically, I think he's put in like a tough position only because I think Liverpool, it was almost like a panic buy for Liverpool because they lost out on Caicedo, they lost out on Lavia, and they're like, shit, we need a defensive center mid because the fans want it, and everyone in the media has been saying, oh, they need a center defensive mid. And he's just the guy they kind of
And to be fair, both games he's played in, Liverpool have gotten red cards. So he's never played in a fully fit Liverpool team.
Yeah, that's fair too. And I think he had a solid career in the Bundesliga. He's not going to be like a flashy kind of player. I think he looked shaky at times, and I think with most players, it might take some of an adjustment period. Like you said, there are some clear standouts where that doesn't happen, like Haaland last year. But this is a center defensive mid position where in a team where they're rebuilding the midfield. So if you think about Szoboszlai, McAllister, and Endo, those are three new center mids that need to like build time and develop a chemistry. I think it's just I think it's too early to say like to be worried if I'm a Liverpool fan, but I think it's just needs time to gel.
And I just want to go with that, like you said, they're rebuilding in the middle. You got to remember too, it's not like he's going into a team like Wolves or Brighton. You're on the main stage. You're on a top club in the world in Liverpool. So you got to think too. Yes, the chemistry might not be there yet, but you got to think mentally that has to play a role. You want to perform for a huge club, and you want the fans to like you, want to do well. So I think just the expectation of playing in the middle of the field for a huge club, that also probably, holds him back a little bit.
No, I was just gonna want to get to the.
I'm just gonna. I'm just gonna say one quick thing about Newcastle and then Nunez because we should probably wrap this part up.
We're in about an hour.
Yeah, I thought Newcastle played great for 60 minutes of the game, and then up a man, a goal up. They showed no signs of, hey, let's save what we got, close out the game, get 3 points. They were kind of open. Liverpool with 10 men, I never really felt like they had 10 men. I felt like they were at full strength. They had some opportunities even with the 10 guys. And I thought that's the only downside of that Newcastle game. And players like Tonali, when they come in and they're supposed to be the pace setter, I think he did that to a point, and then he got subbed off, and Newcastle just kind of looked like they started to crumble. Darwin Nunez played well off the bench, 2 goals.
Well, it's a good way
to put it. He didn't do anything besides score, which, hey, that's exactly what they bought him for. That's if I'm a Liverpool fan, I'm totally okay with his performance.
Does he start moving forward now?
You mean in the roster, like he should used to be starting?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
How else
What the hell else would he mean there?
I have no idea what he meant. That's why
Should
I
he
asked.
start moving forward?
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be the next game. I don't think he's going to be the starter, but I think he's. What? That's a finite question. I feel like.
We have written here, the Darwin Nunez hype. Is it real? Is he living? Is he starting to live up to it, or we need more time?
I would just like to say, last year I think he had a good showing. Like I feel like he got overshadowed by the Haaland comparisons because they got signed at similar times. But if you take just what Darwin Nunez did in the time that he played with Liverpool last year, he was a good signing. And the people that think he's like a flop is just ridiculous.
I agree.
I think the difference was like he had like some bad misses that were on
correct,
very televised and in the media, and that kind of could struggle with confidence at the time. And they also brought in Gakpo, which limited his time in the season last year. So I think he actually, like you said, I think he's a good signing, and I think he is a great goal scorer. He just needs to find like that confidence and consistency.
Yeah. Tell you what, his celebrations were he was in the moment. Cause I didn't watch the whole game. I did get to watch a little bit of the highlights just so I could talk about it a little bit. He was fucking passionate. Like he looked like he was just like all the like the relief of just like, all right, I just did this. Let's do it again.
So, speaking of celebrations, and this is the last thing, we'll wrap this up, move on. I feel like we need to discuss what happened between the managers here, because this shit was
So
goddamn hilarious.
There was so much to talk about in this game.
Yeah, you said it had everything. I don't know why Newcastle's manager's blanking on me. What's his name?
Eddie Howe?
Eddie Howe. I don't know
That
why.
wasn't the guy who did the
It was
the-
the
Who did it?
assistant.
That was the assistant.
Oh, okay.
I forgot his name, but he's
Yeah.
like, yeah.
Yeah, so the assistant goes around just shushing, and then
I think it was after the red card.
it was after the red
And
card,
Klopp was complaining, and then he shushed him.
and then Klopp, after the eventual winner, decided to, I'm going to give it right back.
I mean, rightfully so.
And it
I would
was
do the same thing.
goddamn. He already is known for, like, his what he says, his
Antics.
comments, his antics, the
I
actions.
hate him
everyone
so much.
But
Klopp?
you got to give it to him. The shit he does is great content, and it's so goddamn funny.
I'm not gonna. I didn't actually somehow missed all of this.
Oh,
this is the first time I'm hearing about it.
Yeah,
You
look it
guys
up.
talking about it right
Yeah,
now.
look it up.
great.
We're done. It's so funny. But, to wrap up the entire match week 3, this game was a great way to do it. It had goals, it had cards, controversy, some back and forth between benches, and it was a great way to just round out the week. So,
And speaking of rounding out the week, we're gonna round out that.
yay!
All right, we're going to now go to Danny Boy to tell us the fantasy performers of the week because that was still a thing going on this weekend.
Yeah, so fantasy update. We have our top 5. The top scorer this week was a big surprise. Joachim Andersen from Crystal Palace scored 35.75 points, which was
It's
accumulated through a goal, 4 key passes, 3 tackles, 7 clearances, and 7 aerials. This is a center back we're talking about with 4 key passes and a goal. Like, I mean,
It's wild.
and he
That's
didn't
sick.
keep a clean sheet. So that's 35 points without a clean sheet, which is like 7 or 8 points in our league.
Absurd.
Yeah. Second is Sterling, who we spoke a lot about. 2 goals and an assist, 3 shots on target. Third, Pascal Gross for Brighton. He had 33 points, a goal, 6 key passes, and 4 shots on target. Number 4 is Clayton's Matty Cash.
The Polish Cafu.
Polish Cafu, 32 points. Scored 2 goals. And then wrapping up the top 5 is Malo Gusto from Chelsea, 29.5 points. He had 2 assists. I think both to Sterling.
Yeah, because Sterling
Yeah.
had one Jackson.
Okay, moving on. New segment provided by Dan Sproles.
All right, so this is just I wanted to do a little quick fire, rapid fire round table here. So I'm going
I
to
feel like
say
we all just sat up on the edge, ready to roll.
I'm going to say either a word or a team or like a short phrase relating to the Premier League, and I want your one word off the top of your head response. Okay?
If anyone has seen the New Girl episode, it's the sponge thing.
It's sponge. Yeah,
Sponge.
Are you going to ask like
So
us
I'm going to ask
individually,
several
or are
ones.
we
I'm
just
gonna-
going to yell
I'm
something
gonna ask
out?
you all 2 questions, but I'm going to go around. So starting with Garrett. Okay. Excluding Haaland and Mbappe, who will be the player of this generation?
Excluding Haaland and Mbappe. Holy shit balls.
That's a tough question for rapid fire.
Fucking rapid fire. That's
3.
I
2.
I don't even fucking have one. Foden.
Foden. Okay. Brian.
Fuck.
Harry Maguire. Question mark?
Garbage.
Okay.
Absolute garbage.
Clayton. Luton Town.
Underdog.
Underdog. Okay.
You gotta
Hold on.
No. That's rapid fire.
I get who's the next best young player of this generation. He gets Harry fucking Maguire.
Just wait. Garrett. You're up. Ready?
Yeah.
Trent Alexander-Arnold.
Midfield.
Midfield.
I've drilled you.
Brian. Ramsdale or Raya?
Ramsdale.
Clayton. Last one. Actually, I have one for all of you after this one. Clayton. Aston Villa finishes blank in the league this year.
7th.
Okay. And everyone. VAR.
Dog
Yes.
shit.
Unfortunate.
Okay.
Said yes.
Yes?
Yeah.
You like it?
I've always liked it.
Okay.
This doesn't mean it's used correctly sometimes, but I always liked it.
All right.
I still can't get over Garrett's
That was some
We could have
bullshit,
spent
man.
like
That
an
was
hour talking
fucking
about that.
crazy, man.
We'll save that for next season.
And then for him to go, Harry Maguire. You gotta be shitting me
I was
over
hoping
here.
for that kind of reaction.
What the fuck was that?
All right.
That's like, you ever see like the things where it's like the teacher like during class like 2 + 2 = 4. It's like gets the test. And it's like Melanie had 17 fucking watermelons and then she sold 3 to the guy next door. How many did she eat? What was the sunrise that day? That was that fucking question.
That was absolutely fucking bonkers.
Every time we do that, I'm going to do that from now on. Just so you know.
You have to throw one question to somebody and just
Yeah.
completely screw them.
Okay.
Shall we look ahead to game week 4?
I'm fucking fired up right now.
Yeah, that just gave us a second win here. All right, let's start it off. Dan, you're going to start us off on Friday's game. Luton hosting West Ham. I need your score prediction on this one.
I think West Ham win this 2-0.
Okay. Let's go. Ooh, this one's for me. Sheffield versus Everton at Sheffield. Listen, Everton are just ass. I think although Sheffield lost, they take some momentum away from the City game. I'm going to go 3-1 Sheffield.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, Everton finally scored. Nice.
Yeah, they're going to get their goal.
Yeah.
Garrett, Man City at home against Fulham.
They have given us trouble in past years, but I think we should still win. I'm going to go 2-0. Give us our shutout, please.
All right. Clean sheet for City there. Clayton, we're going to go to you now. Chelsea at home against Forest.
2-0 Chelsea.
Wow.
I
Okay.
think Forest is just tricky, man.
They are
Yeah,
tricky.
I
I
don't
think
think
Chelsea. I think that game was the game that they're going to put together, though.
Dan, Turf Moor, Burnley will host Spurs.
Damn. Burnley have a tough start to the season.
Yeah.
They're getting fisted left and right.
I'm going to go 2-1 Spurs.
Brentford hosting Bournemouth. I don't know why I feel like Bournemouth is just going to they're going to get some goals in this one all around. I'm going to go 3-2 Bournemouth. I think we're going to see some goals fly in the back of the net. And now this one, we're going to go for everybody to finish off Saturday. Brighton hosting Newcastle. I feel like if you would have asked me this last week, I'd be like, holy shit, what a game. But after Brighton just lost to West Ham,
I still think holy shit.
I think
what a
it's
game.
great. I think it's a great game. I don't know how last week affects Brighton.
I don't think Brighton played bad, so I don't think it affects them
Okay,
that much.
yeah.
So
This is the B game of the week again.
Yeah.
So Garrett,
Brighton's really just getting shafted in that beast.
so Garrett, we're going to start with you. Brighton Newcastle.
Brighton Newcastle, creative players versus a very good defense. I'm gonna go. Give me 2-2.
A little 2-2 here. All right. We'll go down the line. I'm gonna go 2-1 in favor of Newcastle. Dan.
I'm going to go the flip of that. 2-1 Brighton.
All right, and Clayton, finish us out with this one.
I'm going to say 4-2 Brighton.
Holy balls!
What
I
in
think
the
there's going to be a
shit?
lot of goals this
There
game.
could be goals. Yeah. I
Newcastle
think so.
doesn't usually give up a lot.
The way their back line was so stretched out against Liverpool, I think Brighton's going to watch that and try to do the exact same thing.
We will see.
Moving into the 2 games on Sunday, Crystal Palace at home against Wolves. I'm going to go to Garrett for this one.
I got this one. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Let's go. I do think Palace is better than Wolves. Let's go 2-1 Palace.
All right. Now we're all going to talk about this one. We're closing out the weekend, baby. We're going to the Emirates. Arsenal, Dan's Arsenal, against my Manchester United.
You start.
All right. If we don't start bad, I think we stay in it. I think if we start bad, I think you guys kill us. If we get scored in the first 5 minutes again, we're screwed. Because I think our Arsenal team, we can't come back against that easily. I'm gonna go 2-2. I say we get a 2-2 draw. Hopefully we can watch this game, or I can watch this game. So Dan, let's go to you now.
I think it's going to be a good game. I'm afraid that the same things. I think Anthony had his debut against Arsenal, or he scored his first goal against Arsenal.
It was on his
It
debut.
was his debut, right? I'm
Yeah.
afraid Højlund's going to come on, have his debut, and then also score against Arsenal. I'm going to go 1-1.
Okay. Let's go to Garrett. What do you got?
All right, we're all doing this one.
Yeah, we are.
At the Emirates, give me 2-1 Arsenal.
It's Fucking United hater.
I like it.
Clayton,
Got you.
3-0 Arsenal.
you're a piece of shit.
Let's go.
You
United have looked
sucking asshole.
Sorry.
Am I an idiot or is Villa play this weekend?
Yeah, they play Sunday against Liverpool at 9 a.m.
We
Oh,
missed that one
we
on the
missed
list.
that
We
one.
don't have that written down.
So, Clayton, you
Villa will tie Liverpool 1-1.
Like you were live doing that.
Yeah. You want
Okay. That's our game, right? We didn't forget anyone else, hopefully.
No. Wait, what'd you say?
That's a pretty
1-1?
big game that we just kind of totally did not have on the list.
You said 1-1, Clayton?
Yeah, I think it's gonna be 1-1.
Yeah, you're so wrong. It's gonna be 16-0, -4. Fuck you, Clayton. I'm mad at you now.
I think they're gonna be tough.
Yeah,
All
I'm
right,
mad at
that
you now.
is next week's preview, and we have a couple things left. Hopefully, they won't take too much of your time. You're still
Nah.
listening. Appreciate it.
Super quick.
Okay, we're gonna try Wavelength. If you were a TikTok or Instagram Reel person, you may have seen this game play. I think it was also a game show or board game at some point.
Yeah, so.
But so the overall, just quick description of the game is one person here is going to be the guesser. They're going to not know the number that we are all trying to give, and what we're going to do is just ask a question. Like, for example, if you're trying to say, trying to get to this inside number 10, name a Premier League manager. So it'd be Premier League Wavelength. So Premier League manager, Pep. Boom. It's a 10 or a 9, depending on your opinion on this.
Yeah, 10's the highest number. Obviously, 10 is the best. 1 is the worst.
Yeah. So Premier League Wavelength. Here we go.
the guesser gets 3 questions, right? They ask
Yes.
each
They'll ask
person
these.
one question.
All right.
Okay.
So we are going to let Matt be the question asker. So you close your eyes.
All right, we've shown the
Okay.
number
All right.
to the camera. Clayton, open up your eyes, my guy. So now you get a question to each of us,
And see if you can get the number we're
and see
thinking
if you can get the number we're thinking of.
Okay.
Who are you asking? Me.
I'm asking Garrett because I'm looking at him.
Okay.
Premier League team.
Luton.
Ooh. All right. Harry Maguire.
You have to ask a question.
Is it Harry Maguire?
No, name a Premier League defender.
Name a Premier League defender.
I mean, Harry Maguire.
Is it similar to Arsenal's performance against Fulham?
Rate or no?
Rate Arsenal's performance against Fulham.
Still doesn't work.
Can I just guess? Is it a 1?
No, it was a 2.
Two.
All right, we're gonna let Dan. We're gonna do one more game. We'll let Dan be the person this time because he
right.
doesn't
Okay.
understand
I
games.
can't believe you made me do that. You know I couldn't figure it out earlier.
It's great. It's great content.
That would be a good
Great
TikTok too.
content.
Just
Yeah.
failure compilation.
I know. I got it.
Put that on the
Harry
Oh
Maguire.
my god.
Harry Maguire's coming up way too much this episode. All right,
garbage. All right.
Dan, close your eyes,
They're
please.
closed.
All right. There's your number for people watching. All right, Dan, ask away.
We can go to Garrett first.
Don't ask Matt.
Don't ask me.
Manager in the Premier League.
Sean Dyche.
I like that.
Premier League kit this year.
The one Garrett's wearing. I'm gonna go Cities.
Oh god. All right. Forward in the Premier League this year.
Darwin Núñez.
What the fuck are these answers?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. We
I am-
fucked him hard
Yeah,
here.
we're all over the show.
place. I'm gonna try to aggregate it. 6.
Oh, fuck.
Oh,
It's 5.
Damn it!
That's fucking close. All right, I think
This is not a 5.
I would give that like a 9 or a 10.
Yeah,
That's
I
like-
kind of
Nicest
agree.
jerseys of the season.
no.
I just think Brian couldn't name another jersey.
Yeah, literally. It's like, let me just look around to the two people.
No.
Ireland, Galatasaray. Let's just fucking throw this one
no.
up there.
When Garrett he got it and he showed me, I originally said I don't think I like the maroon and like the orange going on.
Where'd you put Dyche at? Where were you at with the number?
I would put him around 6. Darwin Núñez, I'd probably put like 7 or 8.
All
Do,
right.
do we want to try and run one more? It's pretty quick.
Yeah, we'll do
All right,
one
one
more.
more.
All right, Brian, you be the guy. Close your eyes.
Shit.
That works. Okay. All right.
Oh wait.
He's not. He didn't see it.
What?
Okay.
All right.
He was looking down.
Should I start with Clayton this time? I feel like Clayton's gonna
Sure.
start. Go ahead. Let's see here. What is he mouth? What is he?
Toyota-thon. It was a joke before the podcast.
I'm gonna go with.
You can ask the same questions, too. You don't have to come with a new
I'm
one.
trying to keep it creative. Outside back.
fullback to our British listeners.
Fuck off.
Trent Alexander-Arnold.
Oh, damn it. All right. Daniel.
Yep.
You know what? Yeah, screw it. Premier League Stadium.
I'm gonna go. Fulham's. I can't. Craven Cottage.
Okay. I'm trying to think where my head's at. I'm trying to factor in where him saying Trent, where that puts it for me.
Yep.
All right. I have an idea. All right.
What's your idea? You can say it out loud. We're not going to react.
I'm between 3 and 4. That's where I'm at right now. Garrett, to you, I'm going to go Premier League goalkeeper.
Premier League goalkeeper.
Starting goalkeeper.
It's a 4.
Garrett.
Yeah! Yeah, it's a 4.
That was to add it to the blooper reel.
Hand up. That's on me.
That was terrible.
Hey, listen, I was on the right track, though. I was on 3 or 4. I was fucking
That's how
killing
you
it.
get out of it, right?
Hand
there.
up.
I was
That's on me.
fucking-
Also, I can't think of a Premier League goalkeeper that's a 4.
I was fucking killing it.
Goalkeepers are tough because there's only like one for each team.
I feel like stadium's tough since none of us have been there.
That's why I said a tough one.
I was gonna say like Turf Moor would have been my thought, but I didn't know.
I was going to
I
say
feel like
Luton
Fulham's
It's not
Stadium.
that
Stadium.
fucking matter because I was gonna tell them the
If
answer
you
to the
would have
next
said
question.
Luton,
Anyway.
that would have put me down to a 1 immediately. But I was 3 or 4 when you on your
Yeah.
2, and then Garrett just really gave me the
All right,
answer.
we're gonna do this one more time because that was fucking embarrassing. So
Shit.
I'll be the
Do
person.
you want to guess?
Yeah.
All right.
Just don't tell me the number.
All right, so folks,
Okay.
I got the number right here, holding it up, and down it goes. Garrett, ask away. Number's down.
All right. I'll go to Matt. Club badge.
My name's Clayton. Thank you.
Club badge.
I like that question a lot.
I'm going to go with Aston Villa's.
Any
Okay.
thoughts so far?
Yeah, I know he doesn't like the new one, so lowish. Dan, give me just a Premier League defender.
A defender. Let's see. Lissandro Martinez.
Okay.
Okay, I'm feeling more like mid-ish now. Let's see. What can be a good question to kind of give me some fucking leeway here? Just give me a Premier League midfielder.
Premier League midfielder. Ooh. Wow, there's so many options. Rodri.
Wow, this is I fucking all over the place. I literally started at low to mid, and now, oh, Jesus fucking, I'm between like 7 and 8. 7.
It's
Yeah! We did it. Hey, what was that, the 4th one?
Yeah.
4th time's a fucking try.
So wait, did we get yours? Did you get it right?
I said 1. It was 2.
Oh, okay. Well, Brian got his right. That's on me.
I was close.
All right, last thing. Let's
All
get
right,
to it.
last thing.
That was fun, though. I did like that.
So last week, I started something a little bit new. Did a little best bet for those gamblers out there. You know, it lost, unfortunately. But all the shit I got for the over in the Burnley Villa game, that did hit. What did not hit in the 3-leg parlay was there was no goals in the first half of the Sheffield and Man City game. However, for this week, I had something cooking up. There's a last second little thing here. We're going 3-leg again. All right, we're going over 1.5 goals, Luton and West Ham. We're going over Sheffield's goal amount at half a goal against Everton. And to round it off, we're going to go over 2.5 Chelsea and Nottingham. That gives you a plus 325 parlay. I threw $9.50 on it to win 40. So that's where we're sitting. $9.50. All right. So that is my best bet of the weekend. I'm 0 for 1.
Should we just keep this a running tally? Of
I think
I'm
we
o-
should.
you know,
Yeah.
we're gonna write it down right here. We're 0 for 1 right now. One of these is gonna hit, and I'm gonna be really, really happy when it does.
All right. Well, that is the end of our episode. We have nothing left on our rundown. I'm not forgetting anything, right?
Nope.
No.
It's a little long episode.
We left you a little bit longer than you like, but hopefully our voices were nice and calming for you on your ride to work or whenever you tend to listen to us.
Yeah.
We will see you guys next week after this games. Everyone send a sign off here. Here we go.
Thank you guys for watching so much. Please follow Premier League and Pints on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. I think Clayton's running the TikTok.
I'm on Twitter. I make a lot of spelling mistakes.
Yes, he does.
Dude, not even spelling, but just words in general were wrong.
I was drunk.
However, we all are. However, he's crushing the Twitter. Follow us on social media. Keep interacting with us on there. If you guys like, the new segments we threw in, Wavelength, the best bet. What else are we throwing today?
Hang on. The Twitter handle is
That League Pines.
Is it just at
everything's at League
Pints?
Pints?
Yeah.
At League Pints, and it's a photo of us.
As if he didn't fucking believe us.
I know.
Thank you guys so much for listening, so much for watching. We apologize about last week on YouTube, the video cutting out if you were watching.
Dan, give us the last word of the day.
Dan, you're wrapping us all up. My fingers floating over the stop button. Wrap us up.
Toyota-thon.